Hi there, this is Lee McPherson here, and this is my presentation for Business 962 with Professor Nicole Ortloff. And the subject is managerial economics, and I am doing an analysis of Tony Robbins coaching and the pricing involved in that coaching. So I hope you enjoy this. Good day, everyone. Today, we're looking at how Tony Robbins International prices their premium coaching programs. High-end coaching is a major financial investment for consumers. How companies set their prices affects their brand, their growth, and their long-term profits. In this talk, I'll act as a consultant, and I'll be using real consumer data to evaluate Tony Robbins International's current sales strategy in the mid-career market. Mid-career. They will cover two key economic tactics: price discrimination and price anchoring. We'll also see how buyers respond to multi-month commitments. Finally, we'll share clear recommendations to make the pricing model more transparent, profitable, and easy to scale. Thank you very much, and let's dive in. Before analyzing the numbers, we must understand the specific consumer profile we're evaluating. This segment is not comprised of corporate CEOs with unlimited corporate expense accounts. Instead, these are mid-career professionals earning an average of, say, $100,000 per year. That would be Canadian. That would be about 75,000 American. And they're deliberately looking to dabble in the executive experience and see what they're made of. They're willing to invest significantly in themselves to build their brands, to gain confidence, and to upscale their professional output. However, because they're self-funding their development, often they're balancing single income household responsibilities. They view this expense differently than a corporation would. They're highly rational, utility maximizers. They have financial flexibility, a little bit, but they require a clear and unmistakable return on investment and clear risk management. So let's examine the current entry point for our premium coaching program. Currently, prospective clients cannot browse pricing online. Information is not available to the average consumer. They must undergo an intensive intake interview with a sales representative. And during this consultation, the representative asks explicit questions regarding the prospect's professional role, their income, and their family dynamics. They want to know, how much money do you have? For instance, in our baseline case study, the consumer revealed an income of $100,000 Canadian per year and her status as a single mother. In managerial economics, this intake interview serves a highly specific purpose. It's an information gathering mechanism designed to discover the consumer's exact reservation price, the absolute maximum they're willing to pay before a single package is offered to that consumer. When the company does this deep intake interview, they're trying to use what economists call first-degree price discrimination. In a perfect world for business, the salesperson would know the exact maximum amount that each person is willing to pay, and they charge them that full amount. This lets the company capture all of the extra value for themselves as revenue. By learning what a client earns, so $100,000 per year Canadian in my case, as a single parent, the salesperson quickly estimates how flexible their budget is. While this personalization approach can close deals, it creates a certain amount of friction. Today's mid-level buyers really don't like hidden pricing. It forces them to share personal financial details right away, and it can make them defensive and hesitant to buy. Once the consumer's financial profile is established, the pitch is then delivered to the potential buyer. In our study, the agent presented a 6-month coaching package for approximately $5,000 American. Crucially, the salesperson emphasized that the price included an exclusive immediate 30% discount, just for you, of course. Economically speaking, whether this discount is genuine or if it's an artificial sales framework is irrelevant. The core objective here is a classic behavioral economics tactic known as price anchoring. By implying that the standard market value of the program is significantly higher, the salesperson establishes a premium mental anchor. When the lower price of $5,000 Canadian is introduced, the consumer's brain immediately reframes the entire situation. Let's break down the mechanics of that price anchoring effect. When a consumer hears a $5,000 price tag, called 5,000 American dollars, the primary cognitive reaction is a high pain of paying, focusing entirely on the cash outflow. However, by anchoring the conversation with an original, significantly higher price, and then presenting a 35% discount, the transaction is radically reframed. The consumer no longer feels like they're spending 5,000 American dollars. They feel like they're successfully saving thousands of dollars. This heavily increases the consumer's perceived transaction utility, making them feel like they're getting a premium asset at a real bargain. However, as consultants, we must recognize the managerial risk. If a professional customer suspects that the discount is fabricated, high-pressure gimmick, oh, you trying to trick me? It completely collapses the trust. Our sales data shows a strong trend. Mid-level professional consumers heavily resist the 12-month term agreement, consistently opting for the 6-month coaching option instead. From the consumer's perspective, the reasoning is perfectly clear. They don't want to overextend their finances. They want to manage the risk that they might not like the program, might not work for them. And they firmly believe that 6 months should be enough time to restructure their habits, build their confidence, manifest the heck out of whatever they want. Okay? Most people have experience doing that. And launching their own personal brand. I can reinvent myself in 6 months. I don't need a year. So to them, committing to a full year feels unnecessary and financially reckless. And as consultants, we cannot simply view this as a failure of the sales team to close longer contracts. We must analyze it as a highly rational economic choice on the part of the consumer, driven by a fundamental economic law, which we're going to talk about. The consumer's preference for the 6-month package over the 12-month package is a textbook demonstration of the law of diminishing marginal utility. In any premium personal development framework, the utility curve is the steepest in the initial phase. During the first 6 months, the client experiences rapid transformative value. They confront deep-seating communication habits, they establish their brand strategy, and they build core confidence. Heck, 6 months later, you've crushed all of those limiting beliefs. Another 6 months, is this really necessary? This represents immense marginal utility. However, the subsequent 6 months naturally yields diminishing returns, moving into basic maintenance, minor adjustments, and for a self-funding professional, spending their own hard-earned money, paying double the price for a year-long contract does not yield double the value. Therefore, stopping at 6 months is the most rational, utility maximizing choice available to the average mid-career level consumer for this product. Okay, now let's pivot to our strategic solutions. My first primary recommendation as a consultant is to eliminate the opaque financial interviewing for the mid-level market and introduce a transparent premium subscription model. Instead of demanding an intimidating $5,000 up front, we should offer an open, prestigious monthly membership priced at $250 to $300 per month. From a managerial economic standpoint, this significantly lowers the initial cost barrier, and it immediately captures a massive pool of budget-conscious, mid-level professionals who are currently turned off by our high-pressure sales calls. And I'm sure a lot of them just say, no, not interested. More importantly, it turns a one-time transaction into an ongoing relationship, drastically stabilizing cash flow and maximizing consumer lifetime value as clients seamlessly embed coaching into their long-term professional development budgets. Think about it, going to the gym, buying nice clothes, having a coach. Why not? If it's affordable on a monthly basis, that could really be a wonderful thing for the consumer and for Tony Robbins International. Okay, and my final recommendation. Let's forget the rigid 6 and 12-month contracts. Forget. Instead, let's launch the milestone packages. Okay, they are focused. They are 3-month sprints around a real career leap. Tier 1, confidence in communication. Tier 2, strategic corporate influence. Tier 3, executive brand expansion. This directly solves diminishing marginal utility. It puts clients in complete control of their risk and their budget. And for our bottom line, we command higher monthly premiums, we drive larger profit margins, and we deliver an experience built on trust. So, thank you, Tony Robbins executive team. And thank you so much to Edgewood, to our professor, Professor Nicole, and to our teaching assistants. So much gratitude to all of you. Thank you so much for the opportunity to research this a very interesting business and to get this presentation. Have a wonderful day.